Welcome back, everyone, to our very first edition of the best solo carries for Season 13. As always, we will be breaking down 3 champions for every single role that have the greatest ability to impact games on their own for the current solo queue meta. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. The top dog up in top lane to start off Season 13 is going to be Darius. 13.1 features nerfs to Fiora, Mundo, Cassanti, and Aatrox, which has a huge indirect effect to Darius' spot in the meta. All 4 of those champions have been near pick or ban the past few weeks, so with all of them being nerfed, it gives room for Darius to move up in priority. Even with Mundo being nerfed, he's still going to be one of the more difficult lanes for Darius, so Mundo is our recommended ban. Key win condition you can play towards on Darius is abusing his level 2 all-in, especially in the lower ranks where players don't respect the level 2 as much. If you can hit it before your opponent, pop Ghost, and run them down, you'll at the very least burn their flash, if not grab first blood. Our Master in Minutes trading course is a really good resource you can use to boost your ability to set up those kills in lane. Standard core build for Darius is a Trinity Force Rush into Death Stance 2nd and Deadman's or Force of Nature 3rd. The rune page is Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Roll with Nimbus Cloak and Celerity for secondaries. With so many meta top laners nerfed for 13.1, it opens up the playing field for a very unique yet extremely strong champion to crack the top 3, being Warwick. Warwick is more commonly played in the jungle, but has actually seen more consistent success as a top laner for a while now. What makes solo lane Warwick so strong is his ability to outduel the majority of meta top laners. Since Warwick heals more and gets more attack speed the lower health he's on, running Barrier as your secondary summoner spell is most optimal. The surprise factor of how lethal Warwick becomes on low health will bait so many of your opponents to all in, just for you to turn the fight and grab easy solo kills. Win condition for Warwick in lane is to play around his E cooldown. The damage reduction in Fear provides Warwick with an incredibly strong trading pattern, so you don't want to be trading without it. Just make sure you don't use the spell too early, as the enemy will just walk away till it's down. Try to save E for when the enemy melee starts attacking you to get max value in a trade. Matchup wise, Warwick is one of the only champions who has a positive win rate into the most played top laners, being Aatrox, Fiora, Mundo, and Cassanti. Darius is the only meta matchup giving Warwick players some issues, so consider banning him out. Build for Warwick is a Blade of the Ruined King Rush into Jockshow 2nd and Ravenous Hydra 3rd. Run Lethal Tempo as the keystone with Presence of Mind, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Second Wind and Revitalize are the way to go for secondaries. Rounding out our solo carry top laners for 13.1 is going to be Shen. Shen is one of the best Heartsteel users in the game right now, and his kit offers so much more than the majority of top laners. Watching the rest of the map burn as you sit on your island is the reality in a lot of games for many top laners. With Shen, not only can he smash lane in many matchups by running Ignite, but he's got that global presence from ult to impact the map. Really great time to pick Shen is when you notice your bot lane lock a hyper aggro duo like Lucian Nami or Samira Nautilus. Lucian Nami are already going to smash the 2v2 in most games, but the insurance of a Shen ult makes it nearly impossible for them to lose post 6. Key win condition for Shen is to abuse his ability to create side lane pressure. In the mid game, look to be split pushing on the side of the map farthest from the next objective that is spawning. This will draw one of the enemies towards you, and since many top laners don't run teleport these days, you can use your ultimate when a fight breaks out to give your team a 5v4. Rune page for Shen consists of Grasp as the keystone and Dip into Domination for secondaries, running Cheap Shot and Ultimate Hunter. Absolutely dominating the Korean ladder, who may be a surprise pick to many, Maokai is our first solo carry jungler of Season 13. So why is Maokai jungle suddenly such a powerful pick? 12.23 Q monster damage buff and a Demonic Embrace rush are the answers. You rush Demonic, go into Liandry's 2nd, and round the core out with a Shadow Flame 3rd. The burn damage from Demonic and Liandry's works so well with Maokai's saplings and gives him disgustingly strong objective control. Take note that you want to max Q first, E second, and then W last. Q first is more practical than E since its cooldown drops the more points you put in it, while E cooldown is static at 10 seconds for all ranks. One easy win condition you can play towards with Maokai Jungle is to arrive at objectives about 1 minute before they spawn and begin placing saplings in the entrance bushes. As the enemies try to walk in, continue pummeling them with saplings and zone them completely off the objective. One of the better bans for Maokai is Mundo, as he can just stack magic resist to nullify the build. For the rune page, Phased Rush works better than Aftershock when playing AP Mao, since you need to be diving in and out of fights much quicker. Junglers that can abuse the Demonic Embrace Rush are on top of the meta right now, which means Udyr is our second solo carry for 13.1. It's actually ridiculous how much Udyr players win when building Demonic Embrace first. After the nerfs to Udyr's Q damage, a Prowler's Rush is only winning about 50% of the time, while Demonic Embrace has eclipsed 58%. Win condition for Udyr is to power farm to that Demonic Spike as quickly as possible and force skirmishes once completed. Of course, you want to be maxing R out first when playing this AP Bruiser Udyr, so don't forget if you've been used to maxing Q when playing Lethality. Echo and Kindred are two matchups Udyr players are struggling more against, so either is a good ban option. The complete core build is a Demonic Rush into Jaksho second and Sunfire Aegis third. Rune Page is Conqueror with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Run Conditioning and Unflinching for secondaries. AP junglers have really taken the meta by storm, and rounding out the top 3 for jungle is going to be Echo. Now that full clearing has become more optimal for Season 13, it really helps a jungler like Echo. Being able to consistently hit your 2-item core is a big win condition for Echo, so less volatility around that is great. Not only can Echo full clear really well, but his gank power is better than most of your power farming junglers. Echo W has such a long range, so you can use it from Fog of War to completely block off the enemy's escape route. To get the most out of Echo Jungle, it's important to realize how insane his objective stealing power is. Echo passive proc with E on 3 items can deal over 2k damage, and when you add on Smite dealing 1.2k, you have about 3k damage of instant burst. The game is never over when you're playing Echo, and that adrenaline rush you get when stealing Baron makes it really fun to play. With Sylas being played a ton and Echo's ultimate being a really good one for him to steal, look to ban Sylas out. Core build is a Rocket Belt Rush into Nashor's second and Rabadon's third. Pick up First Strike as the keystone with Free Boots, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight. Optimal secondaries are Eyeball Collection and Treasure Hunter. The number 1 mid laner heading into Season 13 without question is Kassadin. The perfect storm has been brewing for Kassadin as he was directly buffed back in 12.23, while Zed was nerfed on the same patch. In 13.1, Rod of Ages is buffed, so everything is trending in Kassadin's favor. With Zed dropping in power, Kassadin now has a positive win rate in all 10 of his most common solo queue matchups. Very few mid laners can say the same. Cass does especially well into melee AP mids like Akali, Katarina, Sylas, and Fizz. Uxin and Talon being AD mids are the only 2 matchups giving most Cass players issues, so either is worth a ban. Win condition for Kassadin is to be consistent with farm and keep up in levels. Levels are so important on Cass, so it's vital that you don't fall behind early game. Everyone talks about the level 16 Kassadin spike, but it's really when he hits 11 where Cass can start taking over. You should have your Rod and Archangels completed around that time, which adds to the spike. Electrocute and Fleet are viable keystone options for Kassadin. Electro is best in easier melee lanes, while Fleet helps you survive in more difficult ranged matchups. With Zed no longer in a top tier spot and Kassadin being spammed a ton, there's no better time for Talon to rise up. Talon is now heavily outperforming Zed in solo queue and is the best AD assassin you can play. Since Ravenous Hydra is not being nerfed in 13.1, the power of Talon will remain extremely high. Win condition for Talon is pretty straightforward, as you want to rush Tiamat to begin hard shoving waves and looking for roam angles. If there aren't any roaming opportunities available, you can fake that you are roaming by sitting in the side lane brush, and then use R from Fog when the enemy wastes their spells on the wave. You can even just gank your own lane, which sounds kind of silly, but actually works really well with Talon thanks to his E and R. Matchups are quite good for Talon, but one champion giving him issues is Vex. Vex can nullify Talon's trading pattern super hard, so it's a good idea to ban her out. For the core build, rush Ravenous Hydra, go into any lethality mythic of your choice, and round it out with a Cyrilda's Grudge third. For runes, run Electrocute with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, and Treasure Hunter. Best secondaries are Nimbus Cloak and Absolute Focus. One of the most consistently powerful solo queue mids for most of Season 12, and back in the top 3 to start Season 13, is Vex. Vex's kit just has so much value in the current state of League, where it seems like every single champion has a dash. Whenever champions use mobility spells around Vex, the cooldown of her passive Fear can be reduced, which gives her great value into meta picks like Katarina, Yone, Akali, Yasuo, and Sylas. Kassadin is definitely the ban you'll want to prioritize when playing Vex. A good win condition for Vex in the mid-game is to play around the Fog of War and set up long-range picks with R. Vex can cover a lot of ground with her ultimate and can catch enemies off guard better than most mids, so it's important to capitalize on this. Core build for Vex is a Luden's Rush into Shadowflame second and Zanya's or Rabadon's third. Grab Electrocute as the keystone with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, and Treasure Hunter. Best secondaries are Mana Flow and Scorch. The best ADC to kick off Season 13 is going to be Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa is one of the most versatile ADCs right now, as she can adapt really well to each game. The Kraken with Phantom Dancer and Quick Blades build provides so much dueling power and is super strong into more squishy comps. Kraken with Blade is just as strong though, and allows Kai'Sa to cut down those tankier champs in meta like Mundo and K'Sante. Win condition for Kai'Sa is to survive lane and get to the Kraken Slayer spike. Kai'Sa with Kraken and R available is one of the best skirmishing ADCs, it's just pre-6 where she can get exploited a little more. For this reason, banning out an ADC who wants to play aggro in lane like Samira or Draven is a good idea. Rune pages for Kai'Sa consists of Lethal Tempo with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. 3 boots and biscuits are for secondaries. One of the best pure solo carry marksmen you can play for 13.1 is Samira. Samira paired up with any CC support has some of the best snowball power for any ADC. If the enemy bot doesn't have any hard CC and you're able to run Exhaust as your secondary summoner, then forcing 2v2 plays is so free. Win condition for Samira is to play off her support CC and be ready to capitalize. Level 2 all-in potential can be insane with someone like Nautilus or Amumu, so being on the same page and pinging them to go in is vital to your success. Instead of banning out an ADC, it's often better for Samira to prioritize her ban on a strong protector support that can negate her all-in plays like Lulu or Janna. Build for Samira is a shield bow rush into the Collector second and Infinity Edge third. Conqueror is the rune page with Triumph, Bloodline, and Last Stand. Run Taste of Blood and Treasure Hunter for secondaries. And for our third ADC of 13.1, we have Twitch. Twitch is such a unique ADC because you can almost play him like an assassin when you get ahead. If you run the tech of Ghost as your secondary summoner spell, then finding these catch plays from stealth is super free. That's a really good win condition to play towards on Twitch, as setting up from Fog and using Q to find picks is something no other ADC can do. It's no secret how powerful Lucian and Nami are, but Twitch with Nami is nothing to bat an eye at. Nami putting her E on Twitch while he pops out of stealth at level 6 is pretty much a guaranteed kill on the enemy ADC. With Nami and Lulu being played so much in the support role, it helps Twitch out a ton. Twitch doesn't have the strongest early game, so banning an ADC like Draven or Tristana is a good idea. AP and AD Twitch are viable at the moment, so look to adapt based on what your team needs the most. Pick up Lethal Tempo as the keystone if you're running the AD build, while Hail of Blade should be prioritized when running AP. There's really no better solo carry support than Heimerdinger to start off the season. Champ has a very low skill floor, so you can pick him up right away and start winning games. What makes Heimer so strong is his ability to perma-push waves and harass the enemy under tower with W. That's the win condition you need to play towards. Provide your team with perma bot lane priority and use that pressure to secure as many early dragons as possible. Communicate with your jungler and tell them to start dragon when you have the enemy bot lane pinned under tower. Most support champions don't have the ability to take objectives very well, but Heimer is one of the few exceptions. Doesn't it suck when you know what the correct play is but your team just doesn't listen? With Heimer, if you call a Baron, it's very easy to take as long as one of your teammates shows up and helps you. Controlling vision and using that to your advantage is very key to succeeding with Heimer, so our Master in Minutes warding course found on our website can be of great help. Rylai's into Leandri's second and Zanya's third is the standard core build for Heimer. Roll with Comet as the keystone, followed by Mana Flow, Absolute Focus, and Scorch. Taste of Blood and Treasure Hunter are for secondaries. When it comes down to that melee engaged support, there is nobody better than Amumu for 13.1. Amumu really has it all, with excellent level 2 all-in power, lots of damage for a support, and a heavy chain CC combo at level 6. You really don't even need your ADC to be that competent level 6 onwards with Amumu, as you can deal the brunt of the damage in skirmishes. Win condition for Amumu is to play off his level 2 and level 6 spikes, especially if you're paired with an ADC like Tristana, Samira, or Neela. Hitting level 2 before the enemy and going all in can win you lane in an instant. Look to ban out Lulu when playing Amumu, as her strong peel power can nullify your all-in potential. Build for Amumu is a Radiant Virtue rush into Zanya's second and Wardstone third. Pick up Aftershock as the keystone in matchups where the enemy has a lot of burst potential, while Glacial can work great otherwise. Our final solo carry of the patch is the hook god himself, Blitzcrank. Blitz is an incredibly strong support for the current meta, where we have Lux being played more along with Lulu, Yuumi, and Karma as popular champs too. The shield breaker mechanic built into Blitzcrank's ultimate provides him with ridiculously strong all-in power against those enchanters. It's all about controlling side lane brush and the threat of a hook that makes Blitz so strong. Oftentimes, just holding your hook and running right up to the enemy while they juke themselves out is the better play than throwing a hook from range. Definitely look to abuse this when your jungler is ganking, as you can even just flash E onto the enemy to guarantee that your hook will land. Heimer is a good ban option, being one matchup Blitz players struggle against, as his turrets can really neutralize hook power. We've been huge advocates to Shurelya's over Locket on Blitz for such a long time, and it's nice to see Shurelya's finally with a higher pick rate than Locket. For the rune page, it's Glacial with Hex Flash, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight site. Best secondaries are bone plating and unflinching. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it guys, the best solo carries for every single role in patch 13.1. Thanks so much for watching, good luck with your ranked climbs, and we will see you in the next one.